Hello, Palians. If you are returning, currently playing, or going to be joining us from the Xbox, PS5, well, I've got a video for you going over some of my favorite tips that I utilize a lot to be able to build some pretty amazing stuff. So come on through and I'll show you what to do. Today I'm going to introduce you to cancel placement. This is Builder's bread and butter. This is one of the most powerful tools that we have. I have two copper bricks in front of me. They are 3 blocks apart. The brick is the same size as the biggest square on the grid. Say we want them to be that distance apart, the 3 bricks. I'm going to grab this left one and I'm not going to left click. Watch my key presses. I'm going to hit number 1 in my inventory. That forces the object down by placing an object in your hand. I'm now going to hit 1 again to put the object away that I withdrew. And now I'm going to pick up the brick on the right, and this time left click it to the one that we cancel placed. From there, when we finally left click this one down, it's going to launch that one on the right 3 squares over. This is our bread and butter. This is how we float things. You can do this in any direction. Going up is floating, going down is sinking, going away from you is throwing. Say you have a scene. You are building a set, something to compose for a build of yours. Cancel placement allows us to ignore collision. It allows us to combine things to make new stuff. All you have to do is just pick up the objects, and instead of left clicking, you are going to be hitting an object in your inventory. Generally, I use number 1 because it's the easiest for me. It's right there. You can use whatever number you want. But all you have to do is look away from your build and force the object down. Left click in the game is like telling the game exactly this is where I want it. Cancel placement is telling the game I want it over there, but technically I put it over there. So when we want everything snapped back together, all we have to do is left click the shelf or the unit or whatever piece that we were working on back down, and everything will be snapped together. We can utilize this to ignore collision. Say we want to add a piece to our build. Generally, the game would not allow us to put that there. It's saying that something is in the way. But what we can do is take everything, move it off to the side by hitting a number in our inventory, not left click. All of these objects are being cancel placed off to the side. I describe it as having a car, and you can take apart the entire car. But when you are ready, at the snap of a finger, you can make that car go back together. Just like that. This is the most powerful tool that we have as builders in Palia. This is very simple stuff. Next, we have the wood paver trick. I utilize this a lot. The smallest wood paver has some magical properties to it, in my opinion. Most people believe that it has just one side. That would be the top. That's true. It does have multiple sides, actually. We can utilize the polar coordinates of the north, south, and east and west sides of the paver by placing this paver on a shelf and then rotating it. When we place it on the shelf, we want the grid to line up with the grid on the ground. Currently, it's diagonal. So when we place it on the shelf, we just need to rotate it counterclockwise twice. From there, we place it on a shelf, rotate the shelf, and there are a ton of things in the game that will just go there. You have to find the sweet spot, but the game lets you place them there. No forcing in, no glitching. This is just finding the sweet spot on the paver. This allows you to rotate a multitude of things, as we just rotated the blocks that we cancel placed earlier. So we can utilize this to rotate benches, lamps, anything that would generally go on the floor or on a wall, vice versa. We can now rotate to create new things. I will do it again here by putting the paver on the shelf, rotating the shelf. We want the shelf away from the wall. We don't want the brick to be anywhere near it. And right now what I'm going to do is cancel place while also using the Paver Trick. So we're going to grab our shelf and ghost and cancel place it off to the side of it. And now it's the same grid that you see on the ground. It's snap points. The grid that you see on the ground also goes upward. So now we know how far we can throw it. When we place this back down, we have now thrown the brick up into the air, away from the paver, and now we can still work on it and connect many things to it. I use this trick all the time. There are so many different things that are hidden because they are floated off of a paver. The entire ship back there happens to be floated the exact same way. Alright, the next trick is not really a trick. It's something that the game lets you do. This is in the game. It's called group select, alt select. It can be tricked to be used in multiple ways and in very creative ways. So we're going to put the paver back on the shelf and we're going to rotate it. And now we're going to move it all the way off of the shelf. That way the paver is not on it. And if you notice, we can't place this chair here, right? The chair is not going to allow us to place it on the paver. But what we can do is use alt select or group select by holding alt and then clicking off of an object. The plushie can go on the edge. So we're going to borrow the parameters of the plush by alt-clicking off of the plush. And now, if you notice, it'll click in. The game will do this. It's yellow. We didn't have to force it in. We just utilized the plush. So now we have a chair turned sideways. Imagine the possibilities. Doesn't have to be a chair. Could be a bed. Could be a table. Could be a lamp. Could do whatever you want. But the best thing about a chair is once you turn it sideways, you can sit in it. It's usable. You can have fun with it, right? So just get in and goof around. Come up with some unique stuff. Alright, so harvest compression. The backside of the basic harvest house, the very first one that you get, has some wonkiness to it. Has some wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff to it. At least that's what I like to say. When you make an arch or anything curved in Palia, generally we do it off of a wall. When you do it off of a wall or anything else other than the harvest house, when you do it off of a builder's block wall like this, you'll notice that when we build the arch, there will be a gap on the back side of the bricks. Now, that's fine and dandy, but what if you want that gone? Well, the best way to do that is to utilize the harvest house. The harvest house allows for compression, and not just in bricks, but also in items, as I'll display later on. But as you see, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I just did on that wall, but now on the back side of the harvest house. We're going to turn it, we're going to make an arch, but this time, when we left-click this one down on the ground, it's going to compress those bricks together. That gets rid of that back gap, and now we have a much sharper, cleaner angle. We can utilize this to create a multitude of different looks, as I have also attributed this to the front of my airship, as you see right there. So we can use this to create new angles that Palia doesn't normally give us. So as I was just saying, you don't have to do this with just builder's bricks. You can do this with a multitude of items. Actually, one of the biggest pains is the barrels. Every time we place an item on top of the barrel, it floats. Well, if you do what I'm about to do by placing the choppa or anything on top of an object, say you replace the brick with a barrel, you can make anything on top sink into it because it has compression, right? It pulls things down. So you can use this to have like burrowing choppas. You can make... you are only limited to your creativity. But if you want the objects that are inside, all you do is just put them back on the shelf and it snaps back out and you can grab what you need. Okay, so builder's floor wall combo. This isn't really much of like a oh my god trick, but I use this a lot. Say you want a dual colored room. You know, you want like stone on the outside, wood or copper on the inside. Um, it's a little trick that goes a long way, but all you do is just take a builder's wall of any material, your choice, and you want to rotate that 45 degrees. And all this is going to do is allow you to snap the floor right in top. Now, if it doesn't allow you to snap it in like this, that means that the wall itself is backwards. There are two sides. I learned it by doing this. If you rotate it the opposite way, you'll notice that it just hovers above it. It doesn't actually snap into it. And that's because it's, for this trick, backwards. We want it connected to a certain side, not to float on top of it. So we're going to rotate this shelf, and we're going to grab the wall and rotate it again. And now we can rotate it and combine the floor in. And now we have a floor that stands up like a wall. This is really, really useful for getting rid of the pesky V line that is on the wood wall. The wood walls have like a stripe that comes down diagonally. What if you don't want that and you just want planks? But say you also want to put, again, a chair sideways. You know, you can do that too. You know, let your imagination roam. So I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I want to welcome all of the new Palians that are going to be joining us from the PS5 and the Xbox S and S. Again, both of those systems allow you to connect a mouse and keyboard. So a lot of things that you see on YouTube and a lot of the things that you learn in this video, you can definitely do, especially you know, just simple, right off the get-go. No hassle needed, just connect a mouse and keyboard and boom, off you go. So these are just a few clips of the things I've created here on this plot. And I wish you guys the best. Come and join me over on my Twitch. You can normally catch me live streaming there Monday through Friday. Always normally catching me doing Palia and Shrouded and all sorts of stuff. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And a like and subscribe would be great. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye!
Hey!